You're up to date with the news on BBC Southern Counties Radio. It's 4 minutes past 4.
BBC Southern Counties Radio. The new sound of Sussex.
Right.
Is that it? Is that your intro? Can I just say good afternoon? This is still BBC Southern Counties Radio, and if you're a little bit bewildered, we are not the usual hosts. Ordinarily, if you're listening in Sussex, you'd have Richard at this time. In Surrey, it would be Mark. Instead of which you have Jeremy, James and Richard. We are the guys from BBC's Top Gear on the telly. Kind of sitting in this afternoon.
Yeah, we are. We had a bit of an argument the other day, and we thought that we might be able to do a drive time show better than people who normally do drive time shows. My start was poor.
It wasn't as good as perhaps it might have been.
No.
I've already realised how difficult it is with only 2 hours and what is that, 54 minutes to go. God.
Can I also say something? As the three of us, I have done some radio in the past. And
have you?
I'm supposed to know how it all works in here, but to be brutally honest, I'm struggling. However, our lines will be open throughout the 3 hours.
Yeah.
And, oh, do you know what? Can you hear that noise?
Yeah.
That's all the travel people.
What?
Laughing
You've
at us.
left the microphone open.
Yeah.
You forgot
That's
to
what I mean.
shut their microphone.
It's going to be, what you're going to have is a lot of sort of freestyle
You
creative
had one
radio
button
going
to
on.
push.
Yes,
I know what I'm doing. I worked on Radio Cumbria.
If you're listening and you'd like to call us on 08459 570057, usual number 08459 570057, maybe you'd like to talk to us about cars. I suspect that's a subject that's going to be coming up more than once between now and 7 o'clock. In fact, Jeremy, you're going to talk about cars right now.
Well, sort of, yes. I've been looking at the front of the Brighton Argos, which is a newspaper, and the story begins, parents using four-wheel drive vehicles to bully their way through the school-run traffic have been blamed for massive carbon dioxide emissions. Which, I have to say, sounds awfully far-fetched. Apparently the story is that figures show that West Sussex is the 7th worst county in Britain for buying green cars. And this, according to the paper, causes pollution far higher than the national average. It's actually only 2.7% higher, but nevertheless, they built it into a huge story. And I think we've been joined on the line now by Lewis MP Norman Baker, who inevitably is a Liberal Democrat. Is he with us? Richard, do you have to face
Yes, Norman is with us now. Hello, Norman.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
Good, I'm Jeremy. Now, this all sounds terrible. What's the problem with four-wheel drive cars?
Well, I guess it's the problem with vehicles which are unsuited for the terrain in which they're operating. And Jeremy, you'll know that better than most. After all, you're on record as saying, I do have to say that drivers of these things in cities must be clinically insane.
Couldn't agree more. They are absolutely clinically insane, but I'm assuming that people who have four-wheel drive cars in cities don't only exist in cities in them, and that they do occasionally drive them into the countryside.
Well, no one's objecting, at least I'm not objecting, to people using four-wheel drives for the purpose of which they're designed, which is off-road and in country conditions. But 62% of 4x4 drivers never ever leave the road. Most of them seem to use their 4x4 as a kind of status symbol to get around towns. Perhaps because they feel it's safer for them, perhaps because they think it's a status symbol, but either way, the only time they go off-road is when they mount the pavement.
Yeah, well, you say that, but there's another story I was reading in the paper today about councils trying to get people to shop people who are driving their 4x4s through on highways and byways out in the countryside. So these poor people can't win. Now, let's move on to the environment, if I may. Just on what's the problem with the carbon dioxide emissions for them?
Well, that's the Argus story you're quoting, but in general terms, it seems to me that if a vehicle, the cleaner a vehicle is, the less you have to pay to drive it, and correspondingly, if it's a very polluting vehicle, you pay more.
But do you know what percentage of carbon dioxide produced by the Earth is produced by man?
I'm not off the top of my head, no. Are you going to tell me?
3%, yeah, 3%. So 97% comes from nature, 3% by man. So when you read stuff like, massive carbon dioxide, and Liberal Democrats are forever telling us that there's huge man-made impact on the environment, it's actually a very small amount, really.
Well, I hope you're not disputing what the world scientists in unison say about climate change.
Some of them. No, climate change is happening. No, I think everybody's agreed on that.
Yeah.
It's what's causing it.
Well, absolutely, but carbon emissions have doubled since the Industrial Revolution.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. They haven't.
All right.
Man's contribution has doubled. It's gone up to 3%.
The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere had doubled since 1760. So, and that's got to be down to what we're doing as a human race, isn't it?
Yeah, well, undoubtedly, we're all to blame, and I must go and commit suicide straight away. Richard
don't
Harris
do
telling
that,
me to
no.
stop talking to you now. I
Norman
don't know
Baker,
why.
thank you very much indeed for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Norman.
Yeah, Jeremy, it's quite a nice world we've entered here,
What?
and we might try and keep
I
it.
just offered to commit suicide.
If you're
How nice
listening,
was that?
wherever you're listening across the 2.5 counties, 08459 5700. Is it 3.5
West
or
Sussex,
2.5?
East Sussex, North East Hampshire, and Surrey.
I'm dreadfully sorry if I missed you out. Give us a call, 08459 570057. Maybe you'd like to have your say on anything that Jeremy just said. I suspect you might. I hope it's not too boring and serious, though. Meanwhile, James has been elected to be in charge of the music.
What have you
Yes,
got?
well,
You got me?
welcome pop pickers, listeners, etc. It was quite confusing because I was hoping we'd have Wang Chung dancehall days, but I think we've got Thin Lizzy the Boys are
Lizzie there with the boys are back in town, and it's now 4:16, time for the news headlines read by James May.
Hello, yes, this is James May on BBC Southern Counties Radio. The Home Secretary Charles Clarke says he won't resign over his department's failure to check whether 1,000 foreign criminals should have been deported on release from prison. Well, obviously they should. Fool. Downing Street has given its support to the Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott after revelations that he'd had an affair with a secretary. So it's obviously okay, and you have the Labour Party's blessing to go and have one yourself. The former Labour leader Lord Kinnock has been banned from driving for 6 months for speeding. The summary. Now, this is the weather summary. Warm with sunny spells today, local mist patches overnight, and Peter in Tadworth is going to say it's great to hear you on the air, and he wants to know when you're going to road test the new Jaguar XK.
We're going to do that.
We are.
I've already done it, actually. We'll be showing that in a couple of weeks. Now,
Can I
time...
just say, thank you, James May, the one thing we were told not to mess about with the news there, and I think successfully
I
you
read
did
the
that.
news.
You did that, well done. And Jeremy's going to do the travel, so I'm...
BBC Southern Counties Radio Travel.
It's not actually travel as such. What I've got, though, is a revolution in the way that traffic news is brought to you. Because instead of telling you where the traffic jams are, I am going to give you the registration number of the car that has caused them. What I've done here is I've fixed up a link between the Highways Agency's headquarters in Godstone in Surrey, so I can see all the traffic cameras from all the motorways in the region. Now, what's happening is we've got an outside broadcast truck at Godstone. It's firing its signal up to a satellite 22,000 miles in space, back down to White City in London. They're firing down to a switching station in Tunbridge Wells, and here we are in the studio looking, and if I can swing the camera around now, we can get it off the main pictures. I can even zoom in. I know, look, there's Alison.
Hello, Alison.
Hello, Alison.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi there.
Hi, Richard.
So you can now zoom in on that picture there. I'm sorry if you're obviously listening to this on the radio, but you'll be able to see this on TV eventually. If we can zoom in on this picture here, and you can zoom in, and we can actually see, so if we can get our cameraman now to zoom in onto the not there, you stupid man, onto the picture there, the Alison's picture. Now, can you zoom in? There we are. So now we can start to see some people driving in the middle lane. For example, there's a man there in an Audi TT. Unwise choice of car, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's got the roof down. He's in his middle age.
Oh, and there's another one.
Yeah, no, middle-aged drivers should not have convertibles. There's a motorcyclist. Oh, it's gone. I just touched the screen and the motorcyclist appeared to fall over. Can we just zoom out there? This is marvellous news. If we could see where I'm actually looking there, that would be very helpful.
This is a great help to the drivers of the Southern Counties.
No, but the next time we do a traffic bulletin, I'm going to be able to actually see the traffic jam. We can see who's caused the accident. I can give you the injuries they've suffered. I can give you damage to the car, their registration plate, and everything.
So what you've done, genius that you are, Jeremy, is bring pictures to a radio station. Well done. And Alison, you'll be there, won't you? So presumably when Jeremy doesn't know where it is, you'll be able to tell us, will you?
I will indeed, yes.
Marvellous. Thank you very much indeed. Is there anything we do need to know right now, or is it fairly quiet anyway?
A couple of incidents on minor routes. Do you want me to tell you about those?
You may as well while you're here. Why not?
Couple in Sussex. In Battle, we've got the A271 partially blocked by an accident. That's North Trade Road, and it's just around the High Street on the West End. And also in Ashburnham Place in East Sussex, we've got the A271 also blocked there by another accident just between Fretley Hollow and the A269.
Thank you very much indeed. We'll talk to you in about 15 minutes.
Stay ahead of the traffic with BBC Southern Counties Radio.
If you have just joined us, sorry, it's 4:20. You are still listening to BBC Southern Counties Radio. We've got Richard, James and Jeremy, we are the guys from Top Gear, sitting in for Richard or Mark that you'd ordinarily be listening to right now. And I feel it's gone well so far, guys. I feel it's been a huge
I don't think it has.
We're 3 minutes over already.
Well, let's hide behind this just for a minute.
Facing the morning together.
He's live at the scene now. Good morning, Neil. Can you just describe what's going on at the moment?
People living in Sussex and the southeast are getting the message about saving water.
There's going to be cloud and rain spreading from the north, right?
Neil Pringle and Joe Rickards.
Tracy Bowers and her family come to Bognor Regis Resort. Times a year.
15 years in local radio, learning the art and craft of broadcasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologise. What I'm watching here is Richard
gentlemen, it's sliding things about and pushing buttons with gay abandon and making a complete holics of it.
No, I was just chesting that the record was there for later on, and I was supposed to play something else there, but it's gone. It's very confusing, these computers.
Well, it's also bad news because it's the sport next, and we're not going to be able to do that, are we? Let's face it.
No. John is on the line from Storrington. Hello, John. Mick from Horsham. Hello, Mick. Where's me callers gone? Don't let me down now. I'm told I've got callers here. Hello, where are you? We've got John and Nick. John and Mick. That's fantastic.
I'm enjoying this immensely.
We've got a man coming in to hit something with a big spanner. Would you sort that out for me, please?
That one there. Hello, John.
In 4 before.
Hello there.
Hi, John. It's Jeremy here.
Hello, Jeremy.
The professional. What are you calling about?
Well, our MP from Lewis always infuriates me every time he opens his mouth, I'm afraid.
Why's that?
Well, he never defines what a 4x4 is.
It's a good point. I mean, a Fiat Panda is a 4x4. I don't think anybody would...
You know, I run a Range Rover. Proud to. It's used off-road, towing caravans, horse boxes and whatever. I run it on gas, so it's good for the environment and my pocket. But my wife has got a V70R all-wheel drive. So, does that mean my wife's castigated for driving a four-wheel drive estate car, or I'm for driving a Range Rover?
Yeah, I'm afraid you both, according to the local MP, you both got to commit suicide. There's nothing wrong. I mean, what you're doing is you're supporting local industry there, aren't you? You've got a Range Rover. Well, not local, but it's British at least.
Well, yes.
Volvo's a good car.
Yeah.
And you know what? The amount of difference, I think, that you're making really to the planet is so infinitesimal. Just because 2 wheels more are being driven. James, what do you think of that?
No, I think you're absolutely right. When people want to get worked up about something and help the planet, they should go out and make some soup for poor people and stop banging on about what sort of cars people drive.
I happen, unfortunately, also to be one of your other co-presenters' favourite people, because I also tow a very large caravan. A lorry.
Oh, dear.
Well, it was going quite well, and do you know what? I've got the button. I know which button it is now. Bye. Hi, Nick. How are you?
I was sorry, John. If you're still listening to this, I'd just like to say thank you very much for calling. It was lovely talking to you. Now, Nick, hello.
It's Mick, I believe. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm a Range Rover owner as well.
Has everybody in this part of the country got a Range Rover? It'd be nice to talk to someone who hasn't.
I'm just about to trade it in for a new Touareg. Volkswagen Touareg.
The Volkswagen Touareg. You're not going to go for the big diesel engine, are you?
6V6 diesel, yeah.
Oh, V6, that's all right. I thought you were going to say the V10 that would have come round to your house and set fire to it.
Good God, no.
Yeah.
Didn't you tow a tree with one of those?
Sorry?
Yes, no, I did. I uprooted an enormous tree using a Volkswagen Touareg, and it pulled the entire underside off, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But my argument is that the legalities of towing trailers, naming an Ivor Williams that's plated at 3.5 tonne, you're limited to what you can use.
You are. I mean, there's with that limit. I remember the other day my wife coming back we had a Toyota Land Cruiser. She came back with an enormous amount of stuff from the garden centre, and she would have actually needed an HGV licence to have technically driven it because it was full of so much stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Well, thanks very much for calling.
Okay.
And I believe, Richard, you have more pieces of paper being put in front of you than you can shake a stick at.
I don't know, it's moved now. It's in front of you, Jeremy.
Oh, no, what we've got here is a travel flash, actually. My thanks to Janice. She tells us that in Dorking High Street a caravan has come adrift of the car blocking one lane. The police are in attendance. Police, are you armed? I hope they are. They could take it out and just shoot the drivers, because frankly, if your caravans come off, how embarrassing is that?
I don't know what's worse, still having it attached or having it come off and...
Well, no, because now everybody, you're going to be holding up the whole of Dorking High Street.
You'd feel a bit of a Nelly, wouldn't you, really, with your, and your chemical toilets all down the high street.
Oh, your Sanilav, yeah, all emptied.
It's 25 minutes past 4. Nothing's gone wrong for a good 4 minutes, so I think we could be on a roll here.
Absolutely. Now, many people were writing Michael Schumacher off. Hadn't won a Grand Prix since the middle of last year, and that was a bit of a fluke. But his performance in the San Marino Formula One race at the weekend has caused people to sit up as he won ahead of reigning World Drivers' Champion Fernando Alonso. John Lees is with me. John, hi.
Michael Schumacher, he's not a back number, is he? You have to say.
I think he's the greatest racing driver that ever lived, personally.
He just needs the machine, isn't that right? And Ferrari perhaps have got it right at last.
What Michael Schumacher, I think, does incredibly well is perform in adversity. I was once told by the man who talks to him on the radio, Ross Brawn, that most drivers, when you talk to them, are going, concentrating so hard on just driving the car. You talk to Michael Schumacher, he's going, now listen, could you get the jet ready at 5, and I'm going to need those beige trousers ironing. He's just thinking about his evening and going, hey, they're driving the car to him. And he loves the adversity because it means you can concentrate. If things aren't going quite so well, like he's in Italy, he's got a win now. Brilliant driver.
The question is it going to be this year that he's going to pack up, or will he have another year? I mean, he's going to go out on a high, don't you feel? He's not going to let it sort of limp away.
It would be very sad if he were to be touring around at the back in 5 or 6 years' time. I think it would be very sad to see him sort of all wrinkled and wetting himself and so on. That would be
nice,
very embarrassing. But so I'd like to see him have one more really great year.
Yeah, 85 wins. It's fantastic.
I know, more than anybody. Now more pole positions than anybody as well, you know, which of course he achieved at San Marino, the very place beating Ayrton Senna where of course Ayrton was killed.
Yeah, but I mean, Boris Becker is the German we like. Everyone likes Boris Becker.
Yep.
Michael Schumacher hasn't quite got that reputation yet.
No, the problem, you know, I met him a couple of times, and the first time I met him, he just started driving for Benetton, and he was the most arrogant, bombastic, sort of, you could see his head sticking out.
Are you describing yourself? You got on like a house
me.
on Friday.
We got on very well. There you go. That's my game.
Just two men shouting at each other.
Yeah, no, it was almost like a First World War battle. I mean, it really did. I really thought, God, they're awful. But now he seems to have relaxed into himself. He's absolutely charming, and he's funny, and he's urbane, and he speaks great English, which always helps, the humour and so on. And I like him a lot.
And we want a challenge for the whole title, don't we?
It'd be
It's a
great.
procession. It has been a procession in most recent years, either with him or somebody else.
Another good 3 to 4 seconds to talk about Formula One, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to play the record I played earlier on by
It's not More Than a Woman, it's More Than a Number in My Little Red Book. It's one of the top 10 worst songs ever written.
You really didn't enjoy it, did you?
No, can I just say,
so much, mate.
Can I just say, do you mind?
You're hurting my ears, don't shout.
I don't care. My pictures are working. I'm able to report to you now, ladies and gentlemen, that junction 12 anti-clockwise on the M25 is grinding to a halt. I've also just seen a Land Rover Discovery driving rather stupidly up the slip road there, nearly taking the nose off a Suzuki Jeep. If you're in either of those cars, we'd love to hear from you on 08459570057.
Yes.
And also, you and the big blue lorry, can we zoom in on that one? Can you just close that gap? You're holding everybody up.
The latest headlines at BBC Southern Counties Radio. The Home Secretary Charles Clarke has refused to resign over his department's failure to check whether 1,000 foreign criminals should have been deported on release from prison. The Conservatives have said his position this evening is untenable. The former Labour leader, Lord Kinnock, has been banned from driving for 6 months for speeding. He admitted 2 charges of breaking the limit on the M4 when he appeared before magistrates in Abergavenny today. The office in Brighton, where big issue vendors pick up their magazines, is to close from this weekend. The leases run out in the building, and so vans will now be used to distribute them to locations around the county. And Downing Street has given its support to the Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott after revelations he had an affair with the Secretary. The Prime Minister's official spokesman said Mr Prescott was a real benefit to the people and the government. You're up to date with the news on BBC Southern Counties Radio. I'm Pete Wilson.
BBC Southern Counties Radio Travel.
Well, as you heard from Jeremy, the M25 anti-clockwise through 12 at the M3 is starting to get a little bit congested. As usual, I have to say, it's pretty much a hot spot there. On our local routes, we heard also from Janice, who gave us a message about problems in Dorking with a caravan that's gone loose on the high street. We've got an accident in Battle on the A271. That's North Trade Road. It's both ways between the High Street and West End. It's partially blocked there. Also in Ashburnham Place as well. The A271 both ways between Freckley Hollow and the A269 is a bit of a problem. Blocked there by an accident. We've got Transco work around Red Hill on the A217 Reigate Hill. That's causing a few queues if you're heading southbound from the M25. And East Grinstead is looking a little bit slow too on the A22. That's the London Road heading northbound around Moat Road. Public transport there's got a clean bill of health, and don't forget to update us. 08459570057 is the number. I'm Alison Mead, BBC Southern Counties Radio Travel.
Thank you very much, Alison. And now, of course, we have Jeremy's own supplementary travel.
Absolutely. Alison, are you able to zoom in on any offending drivers out down there for me?
I can't actually get any closer. I've zoomed in as far as I can, Jeremy.
Well, it's okay, that'll do. We'll get our cameraman to zoom in on that picture, and I'll see if I can bring you information. Where are we here? This is Thorpe Park on the M25. Somebody's driving a smart car in the outside lane. I have to say that's very, very brave. Now, who's this for coming down in the Volkswagen van? Now, you're leaving a 200-yard gap there. Now, close up. And your tailgate's open.
Have you finished?
No.
How much did this satellite link cost?
I don't know, but we should. Are you able to swing the camera around to the right, Alison?
Yeah, I'll try.
Can you do that? Because it would be quite nice to see if we can see what's actually causing this jam. Right. Oh, this is marvellous. Somebody there in a BMW X3, plainly mad, shouldn't have a driving licence.
Pictures of the barrier now.
That's the grass verge where lorry drivers throw bodies.
That's
look at that.
Alpha.
Now, that's an Alpha 159. Can we zoom in on the man? It's a woman. You see, this is great. I'm now looking. Are you listening to this? Have you got red hair? You're driving a blue Alfa Romeo.
Please be listening.
Could you wave to us if you are?
That would just be brilliant.
No, she's not one of our listeners. I think she's listening to Radio 1 in there.
Should we move on?
She's probably the only one that isn't. That would have been brilliant.
It would, actually, if we could have got her to wave.
Alison,
there's somebody in a hand! I get it off!
Jeremy, thank you very much indeed. We'll have more of Jeremy's alternative travel shortly. Yeah, it's supposed to be weather happening right now, but it's not going to, I think.
I'll tell you what the weather is.
For so long, the weather's gone.
The weather's fine. The weather, it's a beautiful sunny afternoon, light cloud, going dark about 8 o'clock.
Really? You're sure of that? Okay, fair enough. All right, well, we'll do sport instead.
BBC Southern Counties Radio Sport.
With John Lees, slow going by the Sussex cricketers against Hampshire at the Rose Bowl. They've reached 152 for 7 off 72 overs by tea. Opener Carl Hopkinson led the way with 45. Chris Adams, the skipper, was out for 64. Surrey have been a little more enterprising in their second division match against Leicestershire at Grace Road. At tea, they were 207 for 2 off 73 overs. Mark Ramprakash, last year's captain, is 88 not out. With him, this year's captain, Mark Butcher, on 43. John Batty was out for 54. The former Arsenal striker, Paul Merson, says that he believes that if Arsenal fail to qualify for the Champions League next season, then Thierry Henry will leave the club. Arsenal's hopes of sealing the crucial fourth place in the Premiership were damaged after they drew with Spurs last weekend, but they would still qualify for next year's Champions League should they win the European Cup final on May the 17th, a result that Merson believes could determine Henry's decision.
Thierry Henry's best player.
You've left a big
He's
pause
the best
now.
player in the world on his day, and he needs Champions League football. There's no question about that. He don't need to be playing in the UEFA Cup next season. You know, I hope to see him play for Arsenal. One, because the main reason, because he's in the Premiership, you know, and all the kids in this country can watch him play constantly. And that's the main thing. You want the best players in the world in this league.
AC Milan 1-0 from the first leg in the San Siro. Here at home, there's a rehearsal of the FA Cup final with West Ham meeting Liverpool at Upton Park in the Premiership. The Albion reserves take on Wycombe Wanderers at Worthing. In the Sussex County League, Crowborough take on Shoreham in the First Division. And in the second, it's Wealdon against Broadbridge Heath. Scotland's Graham Dott was the first man through to the semi-finals of the World Snooker Championships. 10-6 up overnight. He was taken all the way by the Australian Neil Robertson before winning 13-12. Defending champion Shaun Murphy is continuing to eat away at Peter Ebdon's advantage. Murphy began the day 7-1 down, but has recovered a little to trail 10-6. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Mark Williams 7-4. Ken Doherty and Marco Fu are level at 9 frames all. BBC Southern Counties Radio Sport, I'm John Lees.
Yeah, I think that means it's finished.
Worthing, Brighton, Eastbourne. BBC Southern Counties Radio, the new sound of Sussex.
We're going to take a call. Oh, there was a bit of a treat, by the way, guys, because I had some jingles made up. Can I try one out for you?
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. Yeah. Let's do this one. What do you think?
It's rubbish.
That's a jingle, is it?
Yeah, it drops off.
2468 James May. What was the next bit?
It goes, James May, and sort of, it drops off. Well, we didn't know what to put at the end. How
Doesn't
do you feel,
scan,
James?
does
That's
it?
your first jingle. You wanted to do a radio show, you're doing one, you've got a jingle.
It's marvellous.
It's thrilling. You're not impressed?
Did you
No,
say...
I am. I thought it was great.
I can do this one.
There's only one radio show.
Yeah.
And it's Top
Hey?
I didn't even understand that.
We are the guys from Top
These
Gear,
are
again.
appalling.
Jeremy thinks it's easy to do a radio programme.
Can I
Yes?
ask a technical question?
Yes.
I've got myself twice in my headphones, so I sound like a
A
Darth
man
Vader.
came in and pressed a button and
Well, he's
I don't know
bust
what's
it.
happened there. That's not our fault. You're not going to talk about your satellite travel again, are you, Jeremy? Please?
I'd just like to say the M25 is flowing freely on the bit that I'm looking at it, so if you're going there, you're okay.
Maureen?
Hello.
Hello, Maureen's on the line.